No one saved me, so I became the monster. They left me, not just once, not just in silence. They left me when I needed them the most. When I was on my knees, bleeding, begging the world to give me a reason to keep breathing. No one answered. No one came. No one reached out. No one cared. And that silence, it didn't just echo in the room. It echoed in my soul. It carved itself into my bones like frostbite, cold, quiet, and permanent. I used to cry for help. I used to scream into the void, thinking someone, anyone, might hear me. But all I got was the truth. No one is coming. Not for you. Not for me. Not for anyone who was born into the storm. And so I changed. I stopped waiting for someone to fix me. I stopped praying for peace. I stopped trying to be good in a world that only respects power. They say monsters are born out of nightmares. But I wasn't born out of a dream. I was born from pain. I was forged in betrayal, molded in isolation, and crowned by the chaos they left me in. I became the very thing they tried to bury. They thought leaving me in the dark would break me. But I built my throne in that darkness. I learned how to breathe fire with a mouthful of blood. I learned how to rise with broken bones and shattered hope. And I learned the most important lesson of all. If no one's gonna save you, become someone worth fearing. They called me cold. They called me heartless. They called me monster. And you know what? Good. Because monsters survive. Monsters don't beg. Monsters don't get walked over, used, and forgotten. They say forgiveness is strength. Well, I disagree. Forgiveness never stopped the blade. Forgiveness never protected the weak. Forgiveness never built an empire. No. What built me? What built me? Not the loud screaming kind. Not chaos for the sake of noise. I'm talking about the silent fury. The kind that sharpens your vision. The kind that makes you train when everyone else is asleep. The kind that makes you stay hungry long after everyone else is full and comfortable. That's the rage I carry. They say I'm too hard now. Too cold. Too distant. But where were they when I needed warmth? Where were they when I was drowning in doubt, choking on my own silence? They abandoned me in the dark and now want to complain that I became a creature of the night. I adapted. It's what survivors do. You don't survive the fire by being soft. You survive by becoming flame. I stopped searching for light. I became the darkness that lights its own path. No handouts, no saviors, no sympathy. You think becoming a monster is a choice? It's not. It's a reaction, a response to the cruelty of this world. I had to become everything they feared, because the world only respects power. It only bows to those who refuse to kneel. You want to know how I got here? I trained when I was exhausted. I learned to love pain. I made discipline my religion. I silenced every voice that told me I couldn't. Roared. I carved myself out of failure. I built myself from scars. Every time I was knocked down, I didn't just get up. I stood up angrier, colder, and more focused. I didn't become a monster because I wanted revenge. I became a monster because I refused to die powerless. The world tried to convince me that kindness was a virtue, but I learned kindness without strength is just an invitation to be devoured. I gave people loyalty. They gave me betrayal. I gave them honesty. They gave me lies. I gave them pieces of my soul, and they shattered them like glass, then blamed me for bleeding. So I stopped giving. I stopped expecting. I stopped hoping. And I started becoming the one who never blinks. Becoming the one who walks through fire without flinching. Becoming the one they whisper about behind closed doors. Because deep down, they know I've become something they'll never understand. They want to paint monsters as villains. But let me ask you, who created us? Who fed us the poison, then shamed us for growing fangs? Who taught us pain, then hated us when we stopped crying? They made us. Every sleepless night, every broken promise, every betrayal, every rejection, every damn time we had to stitch ourselves back together, they built this version of us. So, don't apologize for what you became in order to survive. Don't regret the armor you had to forge to protect your heart. Because in this world, kindness is currency. But power is survival. And now they look at me with fear. They flinch at my silence. They can't understand why I no longer bend, why I no longer break. It's because I've already been broken, and I rebuilt myself with steel. You see, when no one saves you, you stop waiting, you stop dreaming, you stop depending, and in that emptiness, you discover something terrifying. You were always enough, but the world had to starve you before you tasted your own power. They call me a monster now, as if that's an insult. But monsters survive. Monsters don't ask for permission. Monsters don't kneel. And I'd rather be feared for who I am than loved for who I pretended to be. Let them talk. Let them stare. Let them fear the very thing they tried to destroy. Because while they built comfort, I built chaos. While they played it safe, I played with fire. I used to want to fit in. Now I want to stand so far above them that they mistake me for the storm itself. You see, when you become a monster, you don't just evolve, you transcend. You're not playing their game anymore. You're building your own arena. And in this arena, there are no rules, no mercy, no saviors, only survival. And I didn't survive all that pain just to live a quiet life.